Securing player trust. How hacks are driving game API governance.
My name is Alexandre Tomic. I'm the founder of Alea. I started in this industry around 20 years ago as an affiliate, as a white label. And I founded Alea in 2012, 14 years ago. Back in time, I don't know if you remember, casinos were softwares that you would download. Microgaming, Playtech, Top Game, which is now Pragmatic, even if they don't like the connection. It is true. And RTG. And basically, we were not looking at NGR and GGR. We were looking only at deposits and withdrawal, profits. Okay? That's the only thing we were looking at. And there was only one software provider, and they were doing everything. The full platform, payments, games, CRM. I mean, IMS, the Playtech platform, was the best one. Not the games. Remember that. And then in around 2012, we had all these new kids on the block that opened their own casinos with a lot of different software providers. So I was one of them with Slots Million, Alex Stevendal with Video Slots, Rasmus with Kasumo, and of course, Mr. Green and Leo Vegas. That was 2012. And we used to integrate NetEnt, eventually Bedsoft, and other software providers. 4, 5. And at that time, aggregator were not a thing. There were some aggregators on the market, but I wouldn't work with them as an operator because they were adding latency. They had their own servers. They were a bottleneck. If their servers were going down, my operation was going down. They were putting a 2% markup on top, and they didn't know how to integrate games. For what? 4 or 5 software providers. So since then, the game has changed a lot. We have 250 software providers, 25,000 games, and 250 software providers means usually 250 APIs, 250 onboarding processes, KYB, signing the contracts. I mean, you just cannot do it. Even if you go with 20 of them, it would take you 2 years in order to integrate and do all the stuff you need to do to be able to start working. So you definitely need an aggregator. You need an aggregator as basically a gateway to these games. But that's not my point today. I mean, we know that for sometimes what we see happening now, and I hate being the one talking about governance. I had a UKGC casino for years, and if there's a term I really dislike, it's governance. But we need to do something about game APIs, okay? So, first of all, do we need all these games? I believe we do. I believe we need to try the games because we cannot predict which games are going to be good and which games are going to be bad. I can give a couple of examples. When No Limit came out, No Limit City, nobody knew they were going to be good. And they're amazing games. And the problem is that if you don't take them at the beginning, after the roadmap, when they become the cool kids on the block, their roadmap becomes really saturated, and it's going to take you a year to integrate them. Or it's going to take them a year to integrate you as an operator. And you already passed, you don't have this competitive advantage of having them. And that's an issue. There's another issue, is that you still can't predict that a software like PGSoft with Fortune Tiger, a Chinese game, would be #1 on the Brazilian market. We made that mistake, and believe me, I had to deploy a lot of efforts to have PGSoft accepting integrating Alea as an aggregator. And we lost easily 6 months of PGSoft on the Brazilian market. So you need to be there, and you need to be there to onboard these games as soon as possible. The problem is You may work with a platform that's not yours, that's from a third party, and that is very stable. Let's assume it is. Or you may have your platform, and you're a big company, and that's very stable. And the problem is that each time you integrate one of these software providers, these companies are new. There are usually 10, 15 people working there, and they're focusing on making great games. I don't have anything bad to say about them. However, they are young companies. They don't know about API. They don't focus on APIs. And there's a reason for that. API is an intangible product. You don't sell an API. You sell games. I have good games. Oh, my API is good. Nobody cares about that. It's a given. It should be that way. So we have banking APIs that are becoming more and more unhackable. And we have conversations about that with Continent 8. They've seen a lot of DDoS attack back in time, and they've seen a lot of hacks on banking APIs, and they don't happen anymore. And now, it's been 1.5 years, now 2 years, that hackers are concentrating on iGaming APIs, because we are the only industry where there's money in and money out. So basically, if you can hack a game API, you can literally print money. So all this ecosystem now that we have built as operators, where we have this PAM, where we have these payment systems that are quite secure. We can work with companies, with Continent 8 or others that are ensuring the security and stability of the platform. Each time you integrate a new game provider, a hacker can log into your system. Why? Because by experience, we discovered something completely amazing. Some of them are not even using credentials. You can log into the API without a login and without a password. They don't do retries. They don't do rollbacks. They don't do reconciliation. And when we tell them, you must do it, they say, no, no, we don't need it. Let's go live. And we tell them, we can't go live. We need to protect our customers, and we need also to protect you. You have no idea of the world that's out there, and the community of hackers, this ecosystem of hackers that has grown, especially since companies like Stake, for who I have a lot of respect, came in and brought the Bitcoin guys, the cryptocurrency guys. It's another type of hackers. So now we have every single game API integration, every single game release that is being challenged by hackers. So what can we do? I can sell you my stuff and tell you you should work with a technological partner like Alea. Because we were an aggregator, we basically were buying and reselling games. We became game specialists because we have a lot of data. We can tell you which games are working in which countries. I can tell you that we became the gatekeepers of the industry. Now we don't do integrations anymore. We do reverse integration. We force software providers to integrate us. We don't integrate the APIs anymore. We were a bubble tower. We were speaking 100 different languages, and we learned with evolution, with pragmatic, with play and go, how to code a proper API. And now we reversed. We are teaching software providers to speak our language. We don't integrate the API anymore. They integrate ours. So if you go to a technological partner like us, you integrate our API, and now for all the small software providers, it's not their API we have integrated, it's our API they have integrated. But I'm not just here to sell a product, I'm here to tell you two things. If you are an operator, please build a dedicated team for APIs. Don't use your back-end developers, and don't give them the API the game API to integrate for two reasons. First of all, they don't like it. They're going to almost perceive it as an insult. I know. It's like I would say to my rockstar back-end developer, go and bring me a coffee. API, game API, you ask him to do that, it's almost offensive. Okay? Second, you can do it to a rookie and say it's a rite of passage in the company. That's very risky. As you can imagine, you're not going to see the issue right now. Thank you, Trudy. That at some point is going to blow in your face. Okay? I'm almost done. You need to build a dedicated team where this knowledge is going to stay. And last thing, stop integrating third parties provider API. You develop your own API, you give it to them, and they integrate it. Why? Because you are reliable. This is your operation, this is your money. Okay? You don't want to depend on 100, 200 third parties that don't have the same technological level that you have and have all these backdoors inside your system. Dedicated team, your own API, and these software providers must integrate them. One last word, when they don't want with us, they don't go live. And we're very known for being difficult. They say, oh, an integration is very long with you. Yes, it is, because you're not at the level. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much to Alexandre.